All right, it looks like I found a workable recording path, so we can now commence the first ever episode of Black Stitch Hockey's North American Dev Deep Dive. Very alliterative title that was conjured up by our expert in branding and marketing, um, our de facto COO, Christian Bergeron, who really called the shots, albeit with some suggestions from me on some aesthetic components. But really, my solo show being what it is in terms of presentation style, on the non-video end, is really all his work there. Um, I'm still really getting used to doing OBS Studio. I only did a couple of tests of this back end here. I'm still not really an expert on this interface, although I did familiarize myself with it enough to the point where I was able to make the determination that doing this in a live stream format was untenable. So I am doing this in a pre-recorded context, albeit I will always ensure that these are uploaded as swiftly as possible. At least in the capacity that I have. Christian has the controls on Spotify and YouTube, but I will ensure that these are posted to Facebook as quickly as they possibly can be, and he will take it from there. But yeah, we made the determination that with the broad knowledge base that I have, it makes the most sense for me to be doing this as a solo show in which I can share my uh, statistical sources in a more involved manner, maybe get more engagement that way. This is good, this is like a good clip farming show, you could say. That's kind of the screws and bolts there. But yeah, there will still be plenty of D1 men's college coverage on our main podcast, which now also is going to be in a pre-recorded format as well. Um, at least for the time being, if not permanently, we've yet to make a, strategic determination, as we noted on the public correspondence that we put out on Sunday. That is Sunday the 2nd to be specific. If you are, for whatever reason, looking at this when it is no longer, uh, on the Pulse content. But yeah, I think that it seems to make the most sense for the most detailed NCAA D1 coverage to be placed here. Um, There will also be periodic updates on big headlines that are, more off ice implicated, uh, for lack of a better descriptor, something that has more, bearing on off ice developments, like say, big league rule changes or, big, I don't know, recruitment headlines and such for another such things like maybe the draft, things like that. Across the different CHL constituent leagues. That sort of stuff will still make its way onto the main pod, but a lot of the results, individual prospect updates as a season occurs, that'll be relegated to this specific pod. Though it's not really a relegation, this is something that's I hope that will take a life of its own. Um, Maybe become a better product overall as I gain more experience doing this. But yeah, this is where especially we're gonna see like really involved CHL and USHL type coverage. Underage tournaments, as you can see, I have the window open to a bit of information about the ongoing U17 World Hockey Challenge. You know what? We'll talk about that first, actually, in an in-depth manner, because right now the tournament is on an off day as the preliminary round just came to a close yesterday. So we'll just take ourselves through everything that's happened so far. But yeah, so in the first game of the tournament, Canada Red defeated Team Finland by a score of 8-4. Uh, we'll take a look at the um, box score here and go through some individual performances. Alexei Joseph, yeah, it's actually appropriate. The first two goals of the game were scored by two prospects that am very much an enthusiast for and have written profiles on, including yeah, obviously the as noted, just 40 seconds in, the QMJHL top draft pick in this most recent selection. Uh, Yeah, Alexei Joseph, scoring the opening goal of the game with assists from two prospects I'm pretty enthusiastic on, Charlie Murata and Chase Sirkin. And then, of course, Franz Karhalati tied the game at 14-10 on the power play as Blake Chorney was serving a 2-minute minor for goaltender interference. Although interestingly enough, just 20 seconds later, Blake Chorney would have the response. Um, Murata really had a good game as he tied the game back up after Lenny Kilkonen took the lead for Finland. Um, yeah, uh, and of course Joseph had another one just 23 seconds later as Team Canada Red was able to seize the lead back in short order in the second period, as some of my favorite guys really showed up. Murata with another goal, Sirkin with another primary assist, Joseph with a secondary, and of course, yeah, Joseph would have then score before the period was over, would have a hat trick to his name. Really good stuff from him there. Uh, Apologies for that dialogue box that I accidentally opened there. Yeah, I'm mostly navigating using my keyboard, so there will be occasional slip-ups of that nature. Uh, yeah, let me just go to the player stats here if I can find them. Yeah, there we go. Right at the top, I remember now. They have a pretty good navigation system here on Hockey Canada's website. Yeah, I mean, okay, so not for that individual game, but yeah, Joseph had a phenomenal preliminary round in totality, as did Murata, as you can see them at the top of the points leaderboard there. Joseph also tied for the most goals and most assists in individual categories as well. Really, the most dominant player so far. Uh, yeah, Canada Red just has impressive depth overall. Just a lot of guys doing some really good stuff. Um, but let's see. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of stupid that I can't. Uh, what is this? Yeah, I I haven't been on one of these pages in a while, and I didn't really have a chance to look this over. Oh, yeah, game leaders. Yeah, 3 goals, 1 assist, and 4 points for Joseph in this matchup. Murado, 2 goals, 2 assists, and Chase Sirkin, 3 assists. Karhalati did have another goal in that game as well. So that's pretty cool, I'd say. Um, yeah, tough, day for Samuel Heikkinen. He did make 27 saves, but he also let in 8 goals, just getting shelled, with 35 shots on goal in that game, in contrast with his teammates getting him 22 to work with Mathis Forden making 18 saves, obviously. Uh, um, oh yeah, gotta give a shout out to Lenny Kokkonen for having 3 points for Finland in that matchup as well. But anyway, moving forward, on that same day, in the I guess the marquee matchup, primetime game sort of thing. Canada White, who of course have both Liam Pugh and Maddox Schultz in their ranks, defeated Sweden by a score of 9-5. Schultz and Pugh scored some early goals in that matchup. Schultz scoring the second goal of the game. Pugh scoring the third and fourth, for that matter, as the period was winding down. They also combined on a goal in the second period. But yeah, skipping ahead to just the prime performances. Louis Carlson had a hat trick for Sweden in this game, as did Schultz. But of course, Pugh really stands out with his 5 point performance with by way of 2 goals and 3 assists. And yeah, really just a defining performance, which really put his um, his name out there even more. Definitely a good way to get some eyes on him. Man, really giving me some nostalgia looking at like fucking 2018 game photos in that sidebar there. Yeah, Russia won gold that year. It makes sense. Good time for them uh overall with their prospect pool. I don't want to get too tangential though. I'll look back on that in my own time. Oh, hold on just a second. Might as well have the OHL's website fully queued up. Yes, I do prefer DuckDuckGo as my search engine if you were curious. Uh yeah, quick look at the standings. Wow, Brantford still has not lost in regulation. We'll give this its own time eventually, but I just thought have a nice little diversion there. Meanwhile, but oh, okay, yeah, now we're talking. Yeah, I don't want to get into today's games just yet. I will probably, but yeah, back on target here with the WHC 17, as it is colloquially known, and is known in a shorthand context on Elite Prospects website. Let's see. Good run from the USNTDP U17 in this tournament so far. Um, yeah, they started things off with a 4-3 shootout victory against Finland. Uh, yeah, the statistical leaders in that game were Carter Meyer, Braden Willis, and Easton Johnson with 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 goal, 1 assist, and 1 goal respectively for the USA. Um, yeah, the shootout winner was also scored by Meyer in this matchup. Good performance for him, all told. Let's see. Yeah, Czechia defeated Canada White 3-2 in the later matchup that day. Um, let's see. What do we got? Oh yeah, Adam Nemetz kicked off the scoring in that game. Eli McCamey also had a goal. Another guy I've had some eyes on for a bit. Uh, yeah, Nemetz had 2 goals. He was joined by Matthias Makalik and Dario Alessandro Blengino with 2 assists apiece in the multi-point registerer, whatever you want to call it, getter. scorer, I suppose. I don't really like saying scoring points because it sounds like we're talking about a different sport, like basketball or something, because you know, you score goals, you don't score points, you accrue points, whatever. There are a lot of other better verbs for that, or more accurate verbs, I suppose, because yeah, whatever. We don't have to get into the semantics. Let's see. Yeah, no real standout performances for Team Canada White in this matchup. Man, I really like some guys on that team, though, I will say. It's some real good Western Canada talents on that roster. Um, but Sweden then defeated Czechia 3-2 in overtime in Tuesday's kickoff match. That would be yesterday, of course, if we're thinking about it in a relative context. Uh, Noel Nord scored the overtime goal 2 minutes and 9 seconds into the extra frame, while Louis Carlson had a standout performance with his 1 goal and 1 assist in that matchup. Uh, and Vilmar Zelen Forsberg had a really good performance in net with his 35 saves. Yeah, good team victory there by Sweden. It was a gutsy win. Let's see, the U.S. versus Team Canada Red. This was really a result that turned eyes. Shootout victory by a score of 6-5 for the U.S. in this matchup. Oh my freaking God, you are laggy. It wasn't that bad. Yeah, I mean, 52 shots on goal for Team Canada in that game, but uh, Eli Winters really stood tall. It's hard to post a save percentage above 900 in or 90 as some might say, technically more accurately, but that's how it's registered, so that's how I read it. Um, that's always how I've gone about it. Really good individual performances on both sides, but yeah, he did it. You see the 902 there with the 46 stops. But yeah, really good individual performances on both sides. Nolan Fitzhenry, 1 goal and 2 assists for the U17 squad of the USA. Braden Willis, 1 goal, 3 assists. Carter Meyer, 2 goals, 2 assists. Alexi Joseph, 5-point night with 1 goal and 4 assists. Charlie Murata, 1 goal, 2 assists. Cameron Warren, 2 goals. But yeah, Freddie Schneider, in one of the best and most well documented, developmental hockey at in the international context, highlights of the year, like, and that's saying a lot because I mean, there's plenty of competition. It's interesting. I was just reflecting on the fact that fucking uh golden goal by Teddy Stiga in the WJC gold medal game against Finland was like so long ago. Uh like it feels like an ancient memory just with all the space things that have happened in that space. So that was the Kickstarter. Like obviously, it didn't pan out for them for the red, white, and blue at the Four Nations when all was said and done. But like you know, it's been the year of Gaudreau. There have been a lot of things that have happened for USA Hockey that were, a long time coming or had very few precedents or both. So it's like it's cool that this made its way into the canon and is meaningful, and that this is a continuation of things that started so long ago. It feels like with that uh, second consecutive WJC win. That's just like, part of this continual honoring of Johnny Gaudreau's memory that has been going on. Sometimes by concentrated tribute, sometimes just by buckling down and getting these big wins in the in the U.S. national team context. Man, it's it's still like it's a lot to process even now. So like, pardon me for the delivery and tone shift there. Yeah, what a game. Anyway, uh, yeah, let me just take a look at the knockout round matchups. So things kick off with a quarterfinal matchup between Canada White and Finland tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Sweden versus Canada Red. Um, yeah, is there a way I can look at the bracket? Yeah, okay. I'll take a just look at the standings. Yeah, so the way that it works is that Czechia and the US, I believe, have auto berths into the semifinals. That was my understanding of that. Um, should be interesting to see how things shake out, considering, you know, uh, there are some surprises there in the prelims. But moving on to NCAA D1 men's, yeah, we'll just start on Saturday the first, I guess. Can I go back further? I might. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's kick things off. Yeah, we'll go through. We won't read every single result, but some noteworthy games from the past week. Uh, yeah, that honestly, that 4-1 win by Northeastern over uh 11th ranked Boston College was definitely noteworthy. Um, yeah, let's just cut right into the scoring. Interestingly enough, Teddy Stiga was the one who scored the only goal that the U.S. had in that match. But yeah, as you can see, James Fisher, Vinny Borghese, Dylan Hrikowian, probably fucked up like the O sound in that if nothing else. And Jacob Matthew all tallied goals for the USA. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm still thinking about uh that tournament. The North for the Northeastern Huskies, who play in the oldest arena for one more season, that being this incumbent one in the USA, of course, for this specific sport. Uh, but um, yeah, Joe Connor, good game for him as well. Couple of assists to his name. Uh, and let's see, how did Lautenzacker look in net? I mean, 40 saves on 41 shots against. You can't mess with that. Yeah, that was definitely the best game of what is known to some people as hold on, as Devil's Night. Shout out to the Crow. Uh, but now Halloween. Let's see some noteworthy matchups. Yeah, there's that kicked off. That Providence game was one to forget for UML as they fell to the Friars 5-2 on the road. Um, and also ended with some extracurriculars, you might say. Uh, Yeah, Jonathan Fauchon had the only multi-point game, I believe, for oh wait, no, yeah, John Mustard as well. No, 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 he just had the one goal and a +2. Yeah, Jonathan Fauchon was the leading point tallier in this matchup with one goal and one assist. Good victory by committee here for Providence. Yeah, his one goal was unassisted. Roger McQueen also had a primary helper in this matchup as well, as he's had, you know, pretty good D+1 year rather. Yeah, let me take a look. I'm getting tangential here, but I'm gonna pull up his individual stats nevertheless. Uh, Yada yada yada. Player profile verified by eliteprospects.com. Yeah, I mean, I certainly would hope that these guys have contact with his agent. Get the hell out of here. I understand why it would ask me which account I'd want to sign into on this domain. It's no real use for it right now. That's the fun thing. It's very boring just listening to me talk with these stats on screen in a nominal sense. Uh, but like the one good thing about this is like, you know, uh, I guess you get a bit more insight into my individual personality. Because I'm definitely gonna riff in ways that I don't even typically do on our main pod, to be quite honest. Um, yeah, I mean the finishing hasn't arrived yet, and like his results aren't overwhelmingly great. It's like you know, also the slight discipline issues is his PIM totals are maybe a little higher than you'd like, but and then of course not winning his minutes, at least in like the nominal sense with the -4. But like, uh, I've seen worse freshman starts from someone with these level of expectations. This level of expectations from, similar dev environments. Be it, this year is also kind of unprecedented because like, you know, this is the first time we're seeing the CHL to NCAA jump in quite a long time. One of the noteworthy exceptions that exists in precedent was that Kelly McCrimmon played for actually, incidentally, the Brandon Wheat Kings, if I'm not mistaken, before playing at the University of Michigan. Yes, that is the same one that is now, of course, the general manager of the Vegas Golden Knights. Yeah, see, yeah, Wikipedia, whatever. But yeah, I mean, for further demonstration, let me pull up his EP really quickly. Uh, yeah, yeah, captain is final season. Yeah, of course, not the flashiest playing career, really, but yeah, that's really like the one sort of interesting historical example of like pre-Forbidden Door era. Um, yeah, that there's yeah, his executive career, of course, he went home for a number of years, served in various capacities, and was a franchise owner of the Brandon Wheat Kings for a long time. Um, he didn't get a crack into the pro executive world until VGK made him assistant GM uh, in their early phases before he was eventually promoted up. Yeah, sold to Jared Jacobson, but yeah, in any event, so yeah, we're seeing some flashes of some stuff from Roger McQueen, and I think he's one of those guys who he wasn't going to be immediately translatable. I think but we're gonna see some impressive stuff from him in the long run, and I like some of what we've seen from him so far as my takeaway from everything. I haven't watched as many Friars games as I'd like, but in the rare times I've caught them, I've seen some solid shifts from him, so we'll see what comes in the near future. Yeah, Halloween slate was a little underwhelming. There were plenty of options. It's just none of the games really like fucking enthralled me except for one. I did watch, a good bit of this matchup between Western Michigan University and the St. Cloud State Huskies. A lot of back and forth. You know, Western Mich pulled out the victory, but St. Cloud was like always able to respond to most of the scoring. Uh, you know, they fell into deficits, they'd erase them. It was really a who scores last kind of game, even though St. Cloud never had the lead, but they were always right there with them. Uh, yeah, that Thor Bufflin goal is something else. Uh, Thinking about the review that happened in that whole fiasco is pretty funny. Uh, of course, there was a technical problem, and the goal stood just because that meant that there was not conclusive evidence that could be turned into, you know, that could be used for an overturning of the goal call. But what's funny is that that is not the first time that has happened in St. Cloud's home venue. My understanding is that there was an incident in which the monitor, which for some fucking reason is in the coach's room at their rink, which is fucking beyond stupid for a number of reasons, but a monitor was unplugged because someone had to charge a phone or something, is what the commentators were saying. So that was another instance in which that sort of review was negated effectively. Uh, I love the moral lesson, according to the broadcasting team, was if something's plugged in, it's probably for a reason. Not the exact wording, but yeah, that is the general idea there. But this also is a good lesson in some of the nuances of, those sort of rules. Because of the fact that the determination could not be made due to technical problems, this means so it obviously works different in the collegiate environment to begin with. Um, if you fail a challenge once in the NCAA, you are not assessed a penalty like you would be in the NHL. It's just what happens there is that you lose your timeout for that first failed challenge. A second one is when you lose your timeout. I mean, is when you get assessed a penalty rather. So that's the difference in that's the key distinction um in how the review rules work. But the Broncos were not penalized at all because of the fact that the a proper review could not be assessed due to that. They did not surrender their timeout because of that. So it was a good lesson in how complex that mechanism can get, especially in that environment. Yeah, that was the best game of Halloween, I thought. It was the one I was the most entertained by. Okay, moving on to Saturday, November 1st, if I can. Yes. Okay. Yeah, UMass Lowell got their first victory against a nationally ranked opponent of the season in the home fixture of the home and home series between them and the Providence Friars with a 5-1 win. Labor Nimitz had 2 assists. Jacques Verwerk, who had 1 goal and 1 assist, also stands out in that game. Nate Miskey scored his first NCAA goal, and also gathered an assist as we're starting to see tangible results from the former Victoria Royal I've tracked for many years. Austin Elliott had 23 saves in a pretty good showing for the ex London Knight. Memorial Cup champ, plenty of experience on his side. Yeah, let's see. John Mustard, Logan Sawyer, Jonathan Fauchon were the point talliers with an assist, and a one goal, respectively, for the Friars. Yeah, that was really the crux of what's going on with Roger McQueen's PIM totals right now. Is yeah, he got in some trouble in that game. We'll just say, yeah. Uh, won't drag him through the mud for that too much. Um, yeah. So let's see, what else have we got? Yeah, we could just skip right ahead to the redemption. I'll just call it that for now. But let me see. I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Convincing win for UConn over Merrimack. That caught my eye. 5-1. Well, St. Thomas did defeat 18 ranked Minnesota State by a score of 4-3 in overtime. So there is that. Uh, yeah, who scored the overtime goal? Uh, Nathan Pilling on an assist from Lucas Van Vliet. Uh, let's see. Yeah, Ryan O'Neal had a pretty good game. One goal, one assist. Alex Gaffney, Dylan Godbout with goals of their own for University of St. Thomas. Always really liked their colors and logo. Um, yeah, what? How about the goaltending performance? William Ingeman had 27 saves in this game on 30 shots on goal, obviously. How about on the other end? Yeah, I needed to get comfortable. Sorry, I'm not in the best seating configuration here. Alex Tracy, 24 saves, not as good, obviously. Yeah. Mm, does it feel like a minor footnote? Sure, but it's still an upset, so it warrants mentioning. Yeah, there's another one that was particularly noteworthy. Maine completed a sweep against Boston University, both nationally ranked squads, but obviously BU was higher ranked, so that was pretty big. Score of let me revisit that game, the previous game actually. Yeah, 8-5. Man, convincing win for Denver over Alaska Anchorage, as you would hope, but you never know with them. They do lose some games that they shouldn't. They are, unfortunately, a team that Christian and I have placed on fraud watch. Yeah, let me go back to Halloween though, really quickly. You son of a bitch. Uh, yeah, 5-4 in overtime. Yeah, that was a really dramatic finish there. With that overtime goal by Brandon Holt, which he's the co-captain of the squad. That was his first goal of the season, as I recall. And really, the Justin Poirier setup, another guy who's from the CHL, the NCAA pipeline that I really like. Um, that was a great setup by him after he had scored a goal that had you know uh been of consequence in the third period, uh, and also had scored Maine's first goal of the game to tie things up. Uh, yeah, in the first period, really just a solid performance overall by him. But yeah, that setup was gorgeous. It's sad to say for BU that their two most memorable games this year arguably are games that they lost in overtime. Them's the breaks. But yeah, obviously the other one being that Michigan State showdown, another series in which they were swept. Uh, yeah, let's go back to this one really quickly. Hmm. Yeah, let's see. 3 assists from Brendan Holt. Really good performance by him. +3. 2 goals and 1 assist by Charlie Russell. Thomas Friel, 2 assists. Max Scott, 2 goals, 1 assist. Am I forgetting something? Justin Poirier, 1 goal, 1 assist. Another good game by him. Mathis Rousseau, 26 saves. Not really a game that was decided by goaltending. Of course, Miguel Yegorov had a short night as he allowed 3 goals on 8 shots against with only 5 saves. Therefore, and was pulled 12.3 seconds in by Jay Pandolfo. Yeah, he is of course still an elite goaltending prospect. It just was not his night. 3 assists for Cole Hudson, though. 1 goal, 1 assist for Ben Merrill. Brandon Svoboda, 2 goals, 2 assists in what might have been his best collegiate game yet. It's still good individual performances on BU's side. It's just, yeah, it's obviously not the result that they wanted. Um, yeah, sweep for them, for Maine, in what, you know, is a very consequential series. Let me find the game that I loved the most. Wasn't competitive at all, but that's fine considering the circumstances of the matchup itself. Dartmouth has had pretty good form this year. They're definitely the ECAC team that's drawn my attention the most. Not saying that they're the best, just that I've had fun tracking them, much like I did at points last year. Shout out to Hanover, New Hampshire. Man, where the hell is this game? Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, I was really hoping for a shutout in this, but a 5-1 victory by St. Cloud in the rematch against Western Mich. Unranked versus number 3 ranked, of course, defending national champions. They really knocked off a giant here. 3 assists for Barrett Hall in this game. Tyson Gross, 1 goal, 2 assists. Jack Raymond, 2 goals. Second one I really liked. That was a good shot. Um, but yeah, 32 saves for Patrick Berzins in this matchup. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I really got wrapped up in the storylines of that series, and it paid off pretty well. Like I didn't get what I wanted in the first game, as I like I've always been a St. Cloud State sympathizer for some reason, and for them to have like a victory like that against that opponent was very, very rewarding. Speaking of Dartmouth, they've defeated Yale by a score of 6-1. Since that was the only NCAA D1 men's game on Sunday, we might as well take a deep dive on that as well. No reference to this podcast title is title intended. Eric Charpentier, 1 goal, 1 assist. Colin Grable, 1 goal, 1 assist, both with a +3. 1 goal, 1 assist for Nikita Nikora. 2 goals for Ryan Schelling. Jason Stefanak, 2 assists. Yeah, some really good stuff across the board. Emmett Croto with the 22 saves in that matchup, man. I know, I knew that was gonna come up, but like I still laughed on camera regardless. Yeah, Jack Stark, not a great night for him, as you can see. 23 saves before getting pulled at the end of the second period. Uh, Yeah, Noah Pack was the best OJHL goaltender for several seasons in a row. So, as someone who tracked him a bit, I am a little bit disappointed that, he's not a starting goaltender as of yet. But I think by the time he becomes an upperclassman, we're gonna see some things from him. Like, I don't really think that much of the OJHL, if I'm being honest, as a dev environment, which is why I think the CJHL is probably going to get shafted a little bit on this pod. It'll not never come up because I do think that the Centennial Cup is an interesting event, and I do, pay it some mind. But like it's just like with the BCHL having left that environment, it was kind of a backbreaker because that was the best league by far, and even the AJHL has been kind of watered down a bit in recent times. So it's just not going to be a priority. And that's not an indictment of the kids who play there. It's just like, it's the changing environment has kind of rendered it less relevant. So there were two games last night. This was a really, really big game, I thought. The University of Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks arrived at the home arena of number five ranked Quinnipiac, who of course were 2023 national champs, and played them officially to a 2-2 tie, but won in the shootout. So like, despite the how this goes in the books officially, you know, I mean, I respect what happened with this one for sure. Uh, I very big, you know, unofficial upset there. Something for them to wear as a badge of honor. Um, Notably, of course, I had to say the most impressive individual performance was by Lassie Letty with 39 saves in this matchup. Let's see. Marcus Vidicek to assist for Quinnipiac. Yeah, not a lot of activity for Matej Maranov, but like, you know, the two goal scorers for the Nanooks in the form of Peyton Platter and Willie and Misha Danilov. Yeah, like they made the most of what little possession there was to provide this tremendous upset uh, in an unofficial capacity, of course. Definitely like the most intriguing game and that I think happened in the last week, which is really saying something because there's a lot of competition here. Like this is just so unexpected. Like it's not something that should have occurred. Hey, yeah, Harvard beats Stonehill 6-2 as they should. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say there. And yeah, that covers it for college last week. Although I will maybe pivot back to this in a way because there is someone I want to talk about individually. Uh, Let me let's see. Man, that is terrible. Yeah, I'm just looking through their stat leaderboards right now. All right, shut the hell up. I ain't signing up for no email lists, or at least not on cam. Uh, was I gonna? Oh, hmm. Yeah, you know what? That'll do. Yeah, I'm just gonna queue this up, and then we'll come back to it. Oh my God, load. Okay, thank you. No, no, no. Yeah, get the hell out of here. Oh my God, that's not what I wanted. Uh, this is what I struggle with. Okay. Yeah, this we're back to where I was before. I asked for too much, and yeah. Yeah, why does it just not go away? It's yeah, okay, that I guess that kind of works, but moving on to the USHL, a little bit of a slow period for them, but they don't play. many weekday games. Usually relegated to Thursdays and Fridays with some exceptions. We'll just take it through the past month. The Youngstown Phantoms defeated the Chicago Steel by a score of 6-1 on Sunday. Lincoln versus Omaha resulted in a 2-1 win in overtime for the Stars over the Lancers. No surprise there, although, yeah, I wouldn't have wanted it to be that close personally. Although they were on the road, so at least there's that. The Sioux Falls Stampede defeated the Fargo Force by a score of 5-2. The Tri-City Storm fell to the Des Moines Buccaneers by a score of 3-2 in the shootout. The Dubuque Fighting Saints lost to the Green Bay Gamblers by a score of 3-2. Sioux City Stampede, they fell to the Waterloo Blackhawks by a score of 6-3. You know what? Arbitrarily, let's take a look at this one a little bit. And the Madison Capitals defeated the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders by a score of 6-2. Let's see. Good game for the Griva brothers as they had 5 points between them. Um, yeah. Oh, hello, Austin Moline. I'm glad to see you're still doing the thing, even though I've never really like tracked you that much. But although, yeah, he also had a bit of a no-no moment. We'll just say, as he got into a fight with Charlie Emmons in the third period, and yeah. Mm, let's see. Harry Lechner with 2 assists for the best individual performance on the Cedar Rough Rapids side, as he therefore factored into both goals. Why am I zooming in? What the hell? Okay. Sure, let's take a look at Ruben Westerling really quickly. I mean, he's almost at a point per game this year, so that's not bad. A +5, having a decent season, as an import, his first year in the USHL. Um, and yeah, respectable 18-year-old season, I guess. Nothing too showy. Yeah, I imagine maybe by the end of this he'll be, you know, worth taking like a flyer on as like a late round draft pick possibly. Uh, anyway, Braden Scuderi. Uh, yeah. Let's go back to the schedule really quickly. That's too far zoomed out for this page anyway. Okay, we're back to normal. Yeah, let's see. And on yeah, Saturday the first. Apologies for the misspeaking earlier. On Sunday the second, there was only one game in which the Omaha Lancers, in a rare victory, defeated the Tri-City Storm by a score of 3-1 at home. Since that was the only matchup, we might as well take a look at it. Let's see. No players with more than 1 point on the Omaha side. Really committee victory there by committee. Guess I should say. But Devin Shakar, 35 saves in the victory. Really good performance by him in between the pipes. Uh, you know, Just to answer the bell sometimes, I guess, as a goaltender on a very weak team, and this was one of the instances in which he did it, so good for him. Uh, let's see. Yeah, what did I want? Okay, let's just take a look at the standings really quickly. Yeah, no real movement to speak of. Kind of the status quo has really remained pretty consistently in this from what I've seen, what I've checked in. Um, Going back to an earlier topic, I thought I just mentioned that I do plan on giving the BCHL some love on this. It's just that'll probably come down the road when I'm a little more comfortable doing this whole thing. The Muskegon Lumberjacks, yeah, 22 points. They've been good this year. Sioux Falls Stampede, 19 points. Dubuque has been pretty consistent as well. 20 points. They're at second place in the Eastern Conference. Fargo has been good. Des Moines has been pretty good. Yeah. And I'll just take a look at individual stat leaders. Alex Pelletier has the is in a three-way tie with Brett Solomon and Cooper Simpson for points, but Pelletier has the goal scoring tiebreaker, which but of course it is also worthy of note that due to he and Brent Solomon of the Sioux Falls Stampede uh, having the same points per game, due to them having played the same number of matches. Uh, but yeah, Cooper Simpson, 6 goals, 12 assists, but albeit in 15 games played for Youngstown. Yeah, shout out to the Lincoln Stars for having the best offensive player in the league, at least in a nominal context. Um, Who's our PPG leader? Is it Fleece? Might be. No, well, it's kind of an asterisk, but Jack Prunty has 10 assists in 5 games, giving him a 2 PPG for Sioux Falls. But then it's Fleece right behind him. But yeah, if we were doing like a minimum games played thing there, and then you add on the fact that Prunty hasn't scored a goal, then yeah. But yeah, hmm, let me see something really quick. Committed to the universe. That the other thought I had isn't important. Committed to the University of Massachusetts, though, huh? Yeah, I kind of remember seeing his name at some point on maybe hockey commitments or whatever that website is called. I'm sorry, I can't remember right this second. I use it all the time. I've cited it on the main pod a number of times. I don't know why it's escaping me right now. Is he 100? Yeah, I don't think that's happening. What is going on with him? I figured we would get a more likely. I think figured we'd be more likely to get a specific result. Yeah, I can't make a determination on this. Uh, I don't know. Yeah, I wish I knew this. It's kind of embarrassing that I don't. It's just hard for me to track every like individual narrative that goes on in that league, unfortunately, because it is kind of like a side eye thing for me right now. But that might change in the near future. But yeah, I don't know. He hasn't played a game since the 19th, and I'm not sure why. I will investigate this later on and see what's going on. But yeah, might be something about this on X or Twitter, depending on your preferred terminology. But yeah, moving on to the CHL, and we're in the last leg, kind of, other than like one more thing I want to talk about. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Let's just limit it to the weekend, just so we can save some time. Friday, the Halloween night games. 5-2 victory for the Regina Pats over the Moose Jaw Warriors on the road. 3-2 victory in overtime for the Calgary Hitmen over the Prince Albert Raiders, also on the road. Teams love to travel that night. Maybe not so much the Prince George Cougars though, as they fell to the Portland Winterhawks by a score of 6-2 in Oregon. The Seattle Thunderbirds defeated the Saskatoon Blades as well at home by a score of 5-1. The Edmonton Oil Kings defeated the Medicine Hat Tigers by a score of 6-1 at home in some Saturday action. Red Deer, the Rebels defeated the Swift Current Broncos by a score of 3-1 uh, on Saturday as well. Let's see. The Brandon Wheat defeated the Regina Pats by a score of 8-5. Yeah, we'll take a look at this one. Why not? Let's see. Jordan Gavin with a hat trick and 2 assists. I will not be sharing highlights from this. I want to be somewhat reasonable here about what I share. I already feel like I'm stepping on toes a bit just by sharing these web pages in such an in-depth manner. Zachary Lancer, 2 goals, and Brady Turco, 1 goal and 1 assist. So there's your 3 stars. Caden Brown scored his 10th goal of the season, so that was a good thing for the Pats. But yeah, not a great night for them when all was said and done. What stood as the game-winning goal was scored by Jordan Gavin as part of his, you know, big night or yeah, big evening, whatever. Um, Ooh, hello, Jackson Jacobson. Couple of assists for you, but yeah, you're just one of many things that, not to diminish what he did in this game at all, but he's one of many things that went right for them. But 3 assists, pretty damn good. Yeah, how many different players have multi-point nights for Brandon in this game? One, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, that's decent. Number of guys. Yeah, let's see. One, two, three, 4 guys with at least 3 points. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys with at least a point. Oh man, it was an offensive party for them in that 8 goal showing. Yeah. All right. Um. Oh my freaking God. I hate this shit. Let's see. Yeah, it is. The new format for their schedule is nominally cleaner, I guess. But there are some things that about it that I just don't like. They also eliminated the comprehensive CHL schedule outright, which is really frustrating for me because I'd like to use that sometimes as a resource as a guy who's not really locked into one of these specific leagues. I'd like to see different things in different games from all 3 of them. But of course, as we know, my favorite team across the entirety of the CHL will always be the Victoria Royals, so jot that down. The Lethbridge Hurricanes defeated the Tri-City Americans by a score of 4-3. The Portland Winterhawks, again, with a victory at home over the Kamloops Blazers this time, 4-3 in a shootout. 6-4 win by Prince Albert over Moose Jaw. The Wenatchee Wild defeated Saskatoon at home by a score of 3-2 in OT. Uh, let's see. The Prince George Cougars defeated the Seattle Thunderbirds on the road by a score of 4-3 in overtime. So there's a road victory. And another one, pretty comprehensive, by the Everett Silvertips by a score of 7-2 over the Spokane Chiefs. It was unfortunately a night to forget in the subject of another home loss by the Victoria Royals against the expansion franchise Penticton V's, as they were defeated by a score of 6-3. Yeah, not doing that as established. Britton Alstead, Jacob Kavinska, Kvasnicka, sorry. Uh, Kvasnicka? Not sure. Uh, yeah, a lot of new faces there from that expansion draft that I don't know yet. Kvasnicka. Ethan Weber. I don't know why I went with that W sound. Weber, most likely. Much like Shea, his fellow defenseman with that surname, more famously. Hey, at least Ludovic Peralt scored a goal. I really like some of the things I've been seeing from him in his first full WHL season. No points for Cruz Waltz, though, unfortunately. Or, let's see. Yeah, bit of a quiet night from some of the mainstays like Wyatt Danieleko. Caleb Matthews, though, 1 goal, 1 assist. Hayden Moore, 1 goal, 1 assist. 2 assists for Rowan Woodward, but yeah, just not up to snuff in this game, unfortunately. Britton Alstead really having a good game. Uh, and yeah, I mean, the results speak for themselves. Not a really a noteworthy goaltending performance on either side, other than the fact that, yeah, Ethan Eskett was pulled from this game and early into the second period as he just didn't have it. A little sad that they didn't give Jesse Sanch the start. I do like him. He's a guy I've come to appreciate. But yeah, whatever. Anyways, speaking of home losses, we yet again have another one on the docket as let me scroll back up. This thing sucks. 6-2, 5-2 victory by the Kelowna Rockets. Man, I am not a fan of their new logo. You will never make me like that. Over the Vancouver Giants uh, at the Langley Event Center. Uh, let's see. The Oil Kings defeated Swift Current by a score of 8-4 on Sunday. The Calgary Hitmen pulled off a road victory over the Brandon Wheat Kings by a score of 3-1. Victoria enacted a measure of revenge by defeating Penticton by a score of 4-3 in the shootout. Uh, let's take a look.
Welcome back
35.
on in.
Yeah, listen, buddy, you know how much of a fan I am of your commentary. Like it's well established, but I can't have you on right now. I'd love to have you on as a guest, though. I'll tell you that. Um, or Shauna, I take either of them on here for sure. I She knows how much of a fan I am already. Rowan Woodward, what a freaking season he's having, scoring his 11th goal in of the year in that game. Cruz Waltz did get an assist in this matchup. Lane Schofield the goal. Um, Ashton Brown. Yeah, again, shout outs to Remy Zanato. I am a big fan of his. Neither here nor there, though. Do we want to move on? Jesse Sanch did get the start in this one. Yeah, 19 saves for him. Freaking 32 saves for Jake Pilon. Great showing. Um, Picking up the shootout win. Yeah, let's see. 4-3 victory on the road for the Tri-City Americans in overtime over the Medicine Hat Tigers. 6-2 win over the Wenatchee Wild for the Kamloops Blazers and another road victory. Yeah, really good road warrior weekend. Overall in the dub, I think, surprising number of road wins. 2-1 victory for the Vancouver Giants over the Prince George Cougars. The Regina Pats defeated The Calgary Hitmen by a score of 4-3 in overtime at home on Tuesday night. Uh, an 8-2 win for the Kamloops Blazers over the Spokane Chiefs on the road. This was kind of a bridge year for Spokane, so it's not that surprising, but man, what a trouncing to take on your home ice. Yeah, we got some games on the docket coming up for tonight. Quite a few, actually. It almost makes me wish I could have punted this a bit, but it's just the WHC 17 is like the prime event. So this was the best window for me to do something is that like, the biggest thing in developmental hockey right now is on a break. So yeah. Let's see. In the QMJHL, we had, let's see. On Halloween, 2-1 victory. In overtime for the Drummondville Voltigeurs on the road against the Chicoutimi Saguenay. A 4-3 win. Oh wait, sorry, a 5-4 win for the Royan Naranda Huskies over the Halifax Mooseheads in overtime. 4-1 win for Blainville Boisbriand Armada over the Victoriaville Tigers in 4-1 by a score of 4-1. I think I said that already. Whatever. Uh, the Quebec Rempart defeated the Rimouski Oceanic by a score of 6-1 in a convincing win to wrap up the Halloween action. On All Hallows, we had a 4-3 victory for Chicoutimi over the Sherbrooke Phoenix. The Drummondville Voltigeurs defeated the Baie-Comeau Jacquard by a score of 5-3. Let's see. The Royan Noranda Huskies defeated the Charlottetown Islanders by a score of 3-2. Let's see. Val-d'Or Foreurs defeated the Halifax Mooseheads by a score of 6-4. The Armada defeated the Gatineau Olympiques by a score of 3-1. Uh, and of course, the newest QMJHL franchise, the Newfoundland Regiment, who have served as the effective replacement for um, the Acadie Bathurst Titan. Uh, sure, you can translate it. I don't care. They had a 7-2 victory over the um. Oh, went past it. Over the Shawinigan Cataract on Saturday night's final matchup at the Murray Brown Center. Um, Let me take a look at this really quickly. And they've had some pretty cool results go down this year. Uh, let's see. Yeah, let me just take a look at the standings really quickly and see where they're at. That's not. No, that's not what I. Oh, it's the rosters. That makes sense. Man, where the hell? Ah, yes, yes, yes. Oh, wait. No, that what? Why would you have last year's playoff? Holy shit. Their site is fucking set up like ass. I've never liked it, but somehow yeah, they've made it worse. It's pretty bad. Um, how the fuck? Oh my God. Yeah, I guess I'll just take a look at the overall. It's not what I wanted really, but good enough. This is kind of how the playoff bracket works in a way. Not really, but kind of. So it's good enough. Yeah, they got a respectable record overall. You can see them right here. Eighth overall in the league, 594 points percentage. Not bad. They're having a pretty good inaugural campaign. Uh, yeah, I mean, eighth out of 18 teams. Man, how quick. Really is representative of the shifting fortunes that, I'm looking at, like Quebec and Baie-Comeau and thinking about how competitive these teams were not that long ago, but now they're there, and that's just how junior hockey works. With an exception that I will get into uh momentarily. But yeah, let's take a look at this individual matchup finally. Marek Danacek, really good game for him. 2 goals and 3 assists. Dawson Sharkey, 3 goals and 1 assist, and a +3 for the second star. With of course Danacek taking the first. Justin LaRose, 1 goal and 2 assists, and a +3 for the third star of the game. Uh, yeah, let's see. Nothing too special as far as goaltending performances are concerned. Just one moment. And you could see me this whole time, but now I can feel like I see you as I look at myself. Some symbolism there. Anyway, I just wanted to take a quick look at the interface in which I am showing these stats and just seeing if everything's all right. Looks good though. Maybe not as zoomed in as it could be, but you know, man, I've been going for a bit. I didn't realize. Yeah, having an in-depth show like this was maybe a decent idea, but yeah, this is running longer than I probably would have liked ideally, but yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna be wrapping up fairly soon. Just do a quick run through the rest of these Q results and then move on to the OHL, and then we'll basically wrap it up. I will get more efficient at this as time goes on. This is just new territory for me. It's the pilot episode. So this will happen in the early goings and live and learn. The St. John Sea Dogs fell to the Moncton Wildcats on Sunday by a score of 4-2 at home. The Shawinigan Cataracts defeated the Newfoundland Regiment by a score of 6-5 in overtime to enact a bit of revenge for the pasting that had occurred prior. The Rimouski Oceanic defeated the Quebec Rempart by a score of 3-2. Sherbrooke Phoenix defeated the Baie-Comeau Drakkar by a score of 4-3. Uh, on the road, let's see. The Gatineau Olympic defeated the Victoriaville Tigers by a score of 3-2. The Val-d'Or Forêt defeated the Charlottetown Islanders by a score of 3-2. And now we have some games coming up pretty soon in the queue, but only a couple. Not as much action tonight as there is in the dub. Val-d'Or faces Quebec on the road at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And the Chicoutimi Saguenay to take on the bottom-dwelling Baie-Comeau Drakkar at 7 o'clock as well. Coinciding puck drops. Both of those games can be watched on Flow Hockey. And now we move on to the OHL, where we finally wrap things up. Before I go into a big finish of sorts, we'll do a rundown, some of the recent results, starting on Halloween. There's a 4-0 win over the Brampton Steelheads in the for the Niagara Ice Dogs, as they exhibited some decent form in the beginning of the post Brady Westland era. Speaking of, with his new team, albeit he did have a very impressive outing uh, in his first matchup against the Peterborough Petes for his new squad, the London Knights. They did not have as good of a second game in the Brady Westland era, as they lost by a score of 5-1 on the road. Hold on, let me pause that video very quickly. Jasper Kuda scored 4 goals for Ottawa in that matchup as he put on one of the best individual showings in the OHL season so far. Um, and that's really the defining characteristic there. So yeah, while London, despite the fact that they are in, you know, post Memorial Cup, it's time to pay the piper sort of thing, as those do come at a cost in that environment, and had a lot of guys move on, as is the transient nature of that environment. They've had a pretty good season overall as they've kind of gathered their form and had these young guys really step up and like look good under the Dale Hunter tutelage system. But yeah, not a game that they're gonna want to remember fondly. Like there's just no capacity for them to do so. They have a game against the Guelph Storm on the road pretty shortly. Maybe they'll take some aggression out. Yeah, there are a lot of thoughts that just flashed through my head, but I'm not going to voice them. The Kitchener Rangers defeated the Sudbury Wolves by a score of 3-0 on Halloween. Let's see. Christian Kirch had 19 saves in the shutout in this 3-0 win. Cameron Reed, 2 assists, and Jack LaBrache, 1 goal. Those are your 3 stars in the matchup. Jack Pridham also scored a goal. I've talked about this before, but always remember he decommitted from Boston University. And it's working out for him. He's having a pretty good season. 8 goals. I really like Reed. But yeah, I really like both of those guys, if I'm being honest. I probably shouldn't, considering I have a little bit of Knight sympathy. They're not my team because I can only bring myself to really have one. But yeah, at least CHL wide. They would be my OHL team, I guess. I don't really. I like them, and then in the queue, I also like the St. John Sea Dogs for personal sentiment reasons. But I can only really bring myself to have one CHL team, and that's Victoria, as we know. Yeah, let's see. Let me not do any retreats here. I'm trying not to. Brampton was defeated yet again by a score of 4-0 as they fell to Kitchener by that score on All Hallows. Let's see. 6-1 victory for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds over the Oshawa Generals. The Peterborough Petes defeated the Kingston Frontenacs by a score of 4-3. The Owen Sound Attack also defeated the Sudbury Wolves by that score. The ever-dominant Brantford Bulldogs defeated the Flint Firebirds by a score of 7-0 on the road. The Saginaw Spirit won something of a rivalry matchup due to geographic proximity in the form of the Windsor Spitfires by a score of 6-3. And the Barrie Colts defeated the Erie Otters by a score of 4-2. The North Bay Battalion won on Sunday night by a score, or Sunday day, but by a score of 6-2. Let's see. Oh, the Niagara Ice Dogs definitely took a bit of a lump in that one. A bit. Several lumps, maybe. I don't know. I'm spitballing here. 8-3 was the final score in favor of the Owen Sound Attack in their matchup against the Erie Otters. The Guelph Storm defeated the Sarnia Sting by a score of 4-1. The London Knights defeated the Kingston Frontenacs by a score of 6-1. So that really good bounce back game for them individually there. Maybe we'll see some more of that against Guelph. The Windsor Spitfires defeated the Flint Firebirds by a score of 5-2. The Brantford Bulldogs yet again pulling off an impressive win with a 6-2 victory over the Saginaw Spirit. And the Ottawa 67s defeated the Oshawa Generals by a score of 3-0 on the road. We've had a game come to a close already today in the form of the Sarnia Sting defeating the Owen Sound Attack by a score of 6-4. London at Guelph is the next matchup. Maybe we'll see more of that from them. Maybe there's still like a prove it streak going on with them. I'll take another quick look at the OHL standings just for the hell of it, even though we did earlier, and then we can wrap this up. But yeah, Flint takes on Sault Ste. Marie at 7:07 p.m. Eastern Time tonight as well in the final remaining game. In the OHL, tomorrow there's a 4-game slate that will be covered at a later date. Yada, 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 yada. Let's see. 25. This is how we do it. Uh, yeah, I mean, London could make up some ground with their games in hand and based off of their impressive form. They have been damn good recently. This really like one of the hottest teams across the entire CHL, probably. So like everything could come out on the wash, but yeah, I still cannot believe that we are 16 games into this season and Brantford has gotten a point in every single one. Like, it's unreal. Like, I can't even fathom that. All 13 wins have been in regulation or overtime. No shootout wins. Only one shootout game which they lost. Yeah, that 40.4% power play efficiency might have something to do with it. Yeah, the O is definitely it's a changing environment, but it's managed to stay pretty entertaining this year, I think. But yeah, we will finally wrap things up with a big finish of sorts, in which I'm gonna quickly shout out the best line in college hockey right now. Like Max Plant, Zam Plant, and Jason Shogabe have had just an amazing season for the University of Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs this year. I don't even know what to say. Like I look at these point totals, like how much they've racked up already combined between these three. That's a combined 51 points between them in 10 games played. Like these guys, there's just such an imprint from UMD, uh, you know, on the national statistics leaderboard. Uh, and part of their surgence this year as just this amazing force that I wasn't expecting them to be at all is just this group of three guys right here. I gotta, shout out Ty Hansen, as well. And Adam Gayan is finally looking like he has taken the step in his dev that his World Junior run in 2023 might have hinted at. He has looked very, very good this year. I have been impressed by him personally. Uh, and yeah, I just think that University of Minnesota Duluth has just been such a phenomenal storyline this season, and I look forward to see what happens for them next. Yeah, I don't know what is going to happen with them when push comes to shove and national title race season comes along, but I'm definitely interested. I'm not rooting for them against St. Cloud State, though. It's just not going to happen. Sorry, I don't want them to take that series this weekend, but it'll probably happen. But, good for them. Like, they're the most. Christian and I have mutually acknowledged behind closed doors that they're the most involved in really improving hockey in their community in the state. And as such, they were already like, of like the big names, I guess, of sorts, maybe air quotes for them, I guess. Uh, I think that they're the most sympathetic one, probably. So it's cool that they're having a good year overall, and that this sort of stuff is happening for them individually, and that they have this level of talent on this current roster. So yeah, I guess that basically covers it. So that's all I got for this week, really. Tiny me. Yeah, I won't full screen it, but maybe just to have this goodbye be a little bit less awkward. So yeah, we had almost an hour and a half of just me monologuing and showing you guys stats, but um I hope that this is the beginning of something really good, something very singular yet fits in with the overall Black Stitch ecosystem as we um you know, uh, broaden our overall AV portfolio and maybe put have like an overall bigger footprint. Um, but yeah, we will see you again in some capacity very soon. I hope that I can have a consistent release schedule for this in terms of having it out on a specific day or within a specific time frame. Maybe this is a midweek thing stably, but we'll see. In any event, I will do my best to put these out once a week. And yeah, thank you for being here with me in the beginning of this new journey. Um, I will see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Have a great day, night, whenever you're listening to this.